Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, there's a new event, Try Out Duels, aka the Duel Trials, and basically what these are mini events that take place over a short amount of time, where you try out loner decks. That's it. But everyone else is also just playing loner decks. Now, I'm sure some of you are saying, what a lot of these people in the comments are saying, this sounds fun. A loner deck only event. That sounds like a great idea. But, mind you, Konami is terrible at making loner decks. So, while you may get your hopes up and be like, well, we'll be on the same page, it should be evenly balanced, it should be fair and interesting, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will be, right? Because, for example, they have a lot of cards that are just randomly thrown in there that don't really do a whole lot and that end up actually just bricking you. Or they could also be heavy blowout cards like Harpy's Feather Duster that just auto-win you the game and the other person can't really play the game. Now, let's actually talk about what we know about the event. First of all, we don't know a whole lot. As you can see, there isn't actually a whole lot of information available, but I did want to quickly talk about this just because I think that people are going to be excited for this, and I want to kind of just give it to you, give you the information that we have. So, one of the rental competition 1, choose one of our 3 loner decks to play and seize victory. Aim for a specific number of victories while playing in the event, and that number of victories, I believe, is 3. You get 3 wins, and then you get a reward pack. Now, I already see someone saying in the comments, what's the content for the reward pack? Gems, cards, CP. No, it's going to be none of those. We know that it's probably going to be legacy packs or like actual cards similar to like the legacy packs or the XZ Festival events or Duelist Cup packs that we get randomly. So it's going to be crap cards that are probably not worth it. And honestly, this event, it seems like something that you can entirely skip over. Now, granted, we don't actually know what's going to be in there. I'm just saying this is likely what's going to happen, given what we've seen in the past. I would love if it was gems. I would love if it was crafting points. I would love if it was, like, a rare card or something like that. Like, I don't know, like, you were more likely to get, like, Stardust Dragon or Dark Magician or something like that. That's probably not going to happen. So, there's that. You just use loner decks. The 3 that we know of are Elemental Hero, Stardust, and Utopia, hence why I brought up Stardust earlier, and that's it. That's all you do. You play 3 times, you win 3 times with any of these decks, and you move on. They're very short events, and this, to me, seems like, well, okay, actually, I'm gonna say it. This seems like they don't have anything between the 1st and the 12th for an event. Then there's going to be, I believe, Duelist Cup probably, and then there will be a new event, or another event with the tryout duels. Now, in theory, this seems fine because they're mini events to kind of hold us over. I think this is a good step in the right direction because giving us more stuff during the downtime for events is great. I think that is a great change. I'm just like, I don't really know if, I guess it's kind of cool. The biggest problem that I have is most of the time the loner decks tend to play very differently from how the actual decks play. There are a few exceptions because most of the time in the past, the loner decks were more centered around like specific events. So this should be a little bit more interesting in actually giving you an understanding of how a deck plays. For example, with the Stardust deck, since it's not hindered to specifically only Stardust monsters or like Synchro monsters or the Synchro event, which has like specific cards banned, there is a chance that we actually see a full power list. I highly doubt that. In fact, I dare say that it is like less than 1% chance that we actually see a full power list. But at the very least, it could give us like an idea of how a deck plays. So if, for example, you always wanted to try Utopia, but we're like, okay, this is a bit expensive, I don't really know if it will be something that I enjoy, this will hopefully give you an idea of how the game or how the deck plays, whether you want to play it or not, and something that you can actually try. I think this is good. Overall, this sounds pretty good, and I do think that it will be a nice kind of pseudo event or like mini event, which is pretty cool. However, I don't think it's actually going to be all that fun in terms of like to play multiple games or like to actually spend a lot of time playing. And I think that's the idea, right? You're just kind of quick bursts, try out the deck, leave, get your reward pack, and get out. But yeah, that's basically all that I want to say. I doubt the reward deck or the reward pack will be good. I doubt that the event will actually be good to play like a lot of, but I think it will be great for just kind of like testing things and seeing if you want to play either of these decks. Now, the biggest problem that I have is you probably have already played or know whether you want to play any of these decks because they are incredibly popular. So I'm not a big fan of the 3 decks that they chose. I think it would have been better to choose like more kind of like not as popular decks. Something like Lyrilisk would be a good option because it is an anime deck. It is a deck that I think a lot of people have interest in, and it's also a deck that is at the very least like something that I think people would be interested in, but wouldn't really necessarily want to build, if that makes sense. And I think a lot of people saw the success of it in the XZ Festival and were like, or the Legend Anthology Festival, and we're like, hey, maybe I'll play that. So I think stuff like that would be a little bit better. Everyone kind of knows Heroes. Everyone kind of knows Stardust. Everyone kind of knows Utopia, at the very least, kind of how they play. Maybe not everyone, especially like the boomers or the Yugi boomers. But I just think like, hey, we could have had some better options. I'm glad that there wasn't just Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and what have you, because heaven knows we don't need those. But it would have been cool to see like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another anime deck. Wind Up. Wind Up would have been a cool deck to include. It's an anime deck, I think, right? It's one of the Zexal characters, right? Code Talker would have been a cool deck to throw in there, right? What's the Sevens character? I swear they have an archetype that's actually in Yu-Gi-Oh! Forget I said that. But yeah, stuff like that where it's like they're not as popular, but they're still connected to the anime, so that would have been nice. But hey, you can't get everything you wish for. So all in all, I think that this is going to be good. I'm gonna set my bar pretty low just because of how much I have like wanted good events, and they have always turned out pretty lackluster. So I'm just gonna kind of be like, I'm expecting to be terrible. This is probably going to be bad. And then when it's not, hopefully I'll be happy. But who knows? Maybe I'll never be happy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. That is going to be it. If you guys didn't enjoy or liked the content, make sure to like. Let me know what you guys think about this event. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.